What's up, everybody? Ghost Bros Gaming, Steven here. Today we're going to be going through a Labrynth combo guide, and I'm specifically going to be focusing on the furniture cards. So Chandraglier, Stovey Torby, and Kuklok. These cards I think are super underutilized right now and lead to a lot of really fast, really devastating plays in the Labrynth deck. So let's get right into it.
Ghost Bros Gaming.
What you need is a furniture and a way to get there, a Kuklok or a way to get there, any normal trap that you can generally activate anytime, and a blank card. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate the Kuklok, then we're going to activate the Chandraglier, pitching our blank card in order to set a welcome Labrynth spell trap or a Labrynth spell trap from deck. We're going to set a big welcome Labrynth. From here, Kuklok's effect will trigger because a card was discarded in order to activate a Labrynth spell trap. And so what we can do is either add him to our hand or special summon him. In this case, we're going to special summon him. Then we're going to activate our big welcome Labrynth, special summoning our lovely Labrynth, and bouncing the Kuklok to our hand. From here, we've got two chain links, lovely Labrynth chain link 1 to pop a random card in our opponent's hand, and Chandraglier chain link 2 in order to add itself back to our hand because a monster left the field due to our trap effect. So from here, we want to set a compulse or whatever normal trap we have. We're going to activate lovely effect to reset our big welcome Labrynth. And then this is kind of important. If you're going to be facing a super poly, you may want to consider not putting one of these on board because that will make you super poly vulnerable. So if you're playing against branded, that seems really popular, but most other decks aren't running it. So this is, I think, relatively viable. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to normal summon that Chandraglier. And so from here, we're going to pass to our opponent. And on our opponent's turn, what we're going to do is we're going to activate the big welcome Labrynth in order to special summon our Ariana to board and bounce the Chandraglier back to hand. So now we've got the Chandraglier and Kuklok back in our hand. And so we can once again, so we'll go at resolution of this, we'll activate the Ariana effect to add a Labrynth card from our deck to our hand. So we'll grab our Lady Labrynth. And then we'll activate Lovely's effect to pop another card. So you could potentially wait until your opponent puts something on board that you might want to pop with this, or you can, if you're going first post side, you could potentially just use this to maybe hand rip a Duster or something like that. Again, you have to get lucky for that, but at this point your opponent is on 4 cards. So then we can activate our effect of our Lady to bring the Lady on board. And so we can then activate our compulsory evacuation device or other trap. Typically, I'm going to go ahead and chain the Lady here in order to set any normal trap from deck. So this can be whatever you want, right? And so typically it's probably going to be something like a D barrier. So we can set the D barrier, and then from there we can fire the Kuklok, and that will allow us to activate the D barrier. And so we've got, again, like a super strong board. We've got a ton of follow-up here, and we were able to activate any trap from deck as well, just off of those few cards that we had. So this next combo can show us why sometimes it's actually good to pitch a welcome Labrynth on your opening turn, because then you can actually get your welcome Labrynths and get your engine set up a lot faster. So if we have 3 cards here, we'll activate the Kuklok. Then what we're going to do is we're going to activate the Chandraglier, pitching the welcome Labrynth in order to set a Labrynth spell trap. In this case, we're going to set the big welcome. Then we can special summon our Kuklok. And so from here, we can activate the big welcome in the same turn. We will special summon our Lady Labrynth, or our lovely Labrynth, excuse me. And then bounce our Kuklok to hand. From here, the Chandraglier can come back to our hand. So we've got 2 in the hand. We've now popped 1 from our opponent. We can activate lovely Labrynth, targeting the big welcome in order to set it back to our side of the field. Again, super polyable if you normal summon, but I think it can be worth it in this case, depending on what your matchup is. So you can normal summon the Chandraglier, pass to your opponent. From there, in your opponent's draw phase, you can activate the Big Welcome Labrynth, special summoning out our Ariana. We will bounce the Chandraglier back to our hand, and so from there we can pop a card from the hand or the field with our lovely Labrynth. We will add a card with Ariana. In this case, we'll add the Lady Labrynth, and we can also reset our Welcome Labrynth. And so from here, we can activate Lady's effect to special summon herself. Then we can activate the Coup Clock, and we can activate our Welcome Labrynth, and then we can chain our Lady Labrynth to that in order to set a spell trap to set a normal trap from deck. And then the Welcome Labrynth will resolve. In this case, we can summon our boy Stovey. So from here, you can activate Stovey's effect, pitching the remaining Chandraglier in your hand in order to set yourself another Big Welcome. So as you can see, you're starting to really gain some advantage. I know I took that out of the graveyard, but just pretend that Big Welcome comes from the deck. So then we've set ourselves another Big Welcome, and we can again re-add our Coup Clock back to our hand. And so you can see how, okay, this all came from 3 cards. We've popped 2 of our opponent's cards, either from their field or their hand. We have 3 monsters on board. We have the Coup Clock back in hand. And then on the very next turn, we have our Compulse, we have our Big Welcome Labrynth, we can activate any card that we set off of the Lady with the Coup Clock, and then we would get our Chandraglier, our Stove back, we would get our Welcome Lab back as soon as we pop something. So we have the Big Welcome on board, we have the Big Welcome Engrave. So yeah, there's a ton of advantage that you can get rolling pretty early if you're using multiple copies of the furniture. Here's another example of how Coup Clock can really speed up your game state. So if it's your turn 1, you can normal summon the Ariana, then activate her effect. In this case, we will search out a Big Welcome Labrynth. We'll go ahead and special summon our Lady to the board. Then we'll fire our Coup Clock, set the Big Welcome Labrynth, activate the Big Welcome Labrynth, chain the Lady Labrynth to set a dimensional barrier, special summon our Lovely to board. From here, we'll bounce the Lady due to the Big Welcome effect, and we will pop 1 in our opponent's hand due to the Lovely Labrynth. We can then reset Big Welcome with the Lovely Labrynth. So our opponent is now down 1 card, and once it gets back to what we can pass over to them, we can activate the Big Welcome. We can chain you're basically just like super popping off from here, right? Because you've got the D barrier. You can go a ton of different ways with this, but just hard drawing the Coup Clock, I think really helps to speed your plays along, especially in combination with Ariana, because you can get to, or other furnitures, because you can get to your Big Welcome really, really fast and then start hand looping your opponent. So your opponent has already had 2 cards popped out of their hand, potentially, or a field card and a hand card popped by the Lovely before they really even get to start their turn, which I think is really, really, really strong.